Hello and welcome to Fraggle Talk Classic, the unofficial Fraggle Rock podcast brought to you by toughpigs.com. My name is Beth and I am rewatching for the millionth time.
My name is Julia and I'm rewatching for the first time in 10 years.
My name is Adam and I'm doing this intro bit for the umpteenth time.
And today we are talking about episode 7 of season 2, Mokey and the Minstrels.
I love this episode so much.
I love
this episode so much. Oh my god, I love this episode so much.
It originally aired on February 13th, 1984, written by Jocelyn Stevenson and directed by George Bloomfield.
So we open up with Doc, and he's gotten a saxophone, and he's so excited, and immediately he starts taking it apart to see how it's made, instead of actually learning how to play it.
Yes!
Which, if that's not the most neurodivergent thing, good god.
Well, especially because he brings it in, he's talking about how excited he is to learn it, and then he sidesteps and is like, I've been reading this big pile of books about the saxophone, and then is about to start playing, but then he keeps getting also distracted by saxophone facts from the book, and he's like, oh, this is interesting. Oh, this is interesting too. Hey, what does the inside of a saxophone look like? And I was like, okay, Doc, this is the most on brand we've ever seen you so off the jump. It's great.
Also, Julia, saxophone facts. Faxophone was right there.
Saxophone. I played the saxophone for 1 year in 6th grade because I wanted to be like Lisa Simpson, and then I gave up because it was too hard. Also, lessons were like at 7 a.m, and I was like, no, cannot function.
That's so early, holy crap.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there are some things you can do at 7 a.m. Learning a difficult instrument, I don't think should be one of them.
Yeah, and it wasn't, the atmosphere of it wasn't like fun. It didn't make me want to continue learning it.
That's unfortunate. Yeah, a good teacher makes a big difference. I would learn saxophone from Cantus.
Oh, heck yeah.
100%. You know, that's like something that I regret from my childhood, where I wish I had stuck with it, because it would be so cool to, as an adult, just be like, by the way, I know how to play the sax. What a fun, just like, fact that you could drop on people. But nope, I can't play a single instrument.
Counterpoint. By the way, I'm learning to play the sax is also a really cool and fun thing. And I know you have so much free time on your hands right now, Julia.
Let me just play the saxophone while sending a million emails and mapping out an entire poetry festival. Anyway.
I mean, the saxophone has a conical tube thing, which would assist in the sending of emails. Probably, somehow.
Maybe. Might be hard to type and play.
Anyways,
we cut to Mokey, and she is skipping around and singing like a nice little pretty song to herself.
Mm-hmm. Skipping. This puppet is skipping.
She is skipping.
Right.
First crutches, now skipping.
Mm-hmm. It's very good. And then we hear familiar. We hear them first, right? We hear the minstrels coming. Yeah. And Cantus is back.
Cantus is back.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so excited. I love this dude so much.
He's a very good dude.
And he gets Cantusy right off the bat.
Oh, yeah.
Mokey's like, oh, you must have heard my song. What did you think? And he says, thinking had nothing to do with it. Your song came from you. I know. I was listening. And she says, does that mean you liked it? And he says, it means I heard it. Which, like, what a compliment. Like, no, I hear you. The ability to look at somebody and look at their art and say, I see you, I hear you, I recognize and acknowledge you. Like, that's powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And he sees potential in it.
Mm-hmm.
He says, I believe you're traveling our way, which he does not mean in a literal and metaphorical sense.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps you'd journey with us from here to there. He does this lovely little finger wiggle that comes back several times. She's like, you want me to go with you? And he says, only if you're going in the same direction.
I love that line so much.
Yeah. And at this point, Mokey's all on board. She's just completely, I don't know if starstruck is quite the right word, because they're kind of like local celebrities, but
I mean,
you can also kind of talk to them. And
you can talk to local celebrities. You just got to find out what the hotel they're at and then bribe the hotel clerk. It's not hard. It's just illegal.
You know, everyone loves and looks up to the minstrels, and like everyone's so excited when they come back. Like, especially Red is super stoked, which is really nice to see, because Red was the one who struggled in the previous episode with finding her own song and understanding what that meant. And it almost feels like maybe she's a little starstruck, because they all are a little starstruck with Cantus, but it's almost like Mokey thinks about the idea of her being one of them and falls in love with that thought and is like,
yes.
Yeah.
This is all I can think about.
I have in my notes that this is the conflict between ego and expression.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, fascinating.
And we can talk more about that as the episode goes on. And he's like, yes, the first thing you need to do is listen. And immediately I was like, oh, because Mokey doesn't know how to listen to others. She just knows how to sing, which we see later.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
He also has a really good bit when he gets to the rest of the Fraggles and they start making music. And he says, it's good to be somewhere. And here is where we now are best.
I admit this one stumped me. I was like, how is, and here's where we now are best, a sentence? Like, how, grammatically, what is he trying to say here?
Well, so he's saying it's good to be somewhere, right? It's good to exist in a place.
Yes.
And right here is where we are best. So we are being the best we are. Like, the best place for us to be right now is here because we are being here to the best of our ability.
Okay. Yeah, got it. That makes more sense.
It made me so happy. I loved reading that line. I loved hearing it.
Yay, we have a Cantus translator. This is great.
Got you.
And immediately, Mokey's like, oh, Red, he liked my song. And I was like, he didn't say that.
That is not the thing he said.
He said he heard it.
She's very much still in that dreamy space of, I love this exchange, he says, only a minstrel can be a minstrel. Yes, but if I were a minstrel, I could be a minstrel. And it comes back around at the end of the episode of understanding the fullness of what that means.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, she's thinking all she needs is the right wardrobe and singing songs willy-nilly, and there you go. That's it. You're a minstrel.
I mean, it seems what she's very excited about is getting to get attention as a minstrel.
Mm.
Yeah.
She doesn't want to listen. She's excited to be listened to.
Yes.
Yeah. She wants the title, but she doesn't want to do the work.
Not even the title, just like, if the key thing that a minstrel does is listen, like, she's not doing that. She's, as a minstrel, being excited that other people have to listen to her and will want to listen to her.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
It comes back, I think I've talked about this a little bit previously, but it comes back to that, like I'm old school theater style. Like, attention is earned.
Mm.
You are not entitled to attention because you are standing in front of people. You are not entitled to attention because you are on an elevated platform. You are entitled to attention because you have put energy and effort into your craft, or are putting energy and effort into your craft, and are trying to do your best to serve your audience. And that's not Mokey's approach to this thing, and that very much seems to be Cantus's approach to this, except for Cantus, the audience is the universe.
Well said. He says, a minstrel hears an inner ping. And then we get this wonderful little song about, it's called Music Makes Us Real, parentheses, ping. And we get to hear, a verse from each minstrel, which I thought was really fascinating.
I enjoyed that a lot.
Yeah, that we get to hear what each of them thinks about, what is this life really like?
Mm-hmm.
So Cantus sings, God, there's so many good lines in this song. How do I pick apart all of them? Says, what I know I must declare. I love that line that, if I know this thing, I have to say it. I have to tell people this thing that I know.
Very big, speak the truest things you know energy.
Where's that from?
I don't remember. Somebody who was quoting it said it in an article I read.
There you go. Make a minstrel out of stone, make him out of rag and bone, make him from a royal throne. Music makes us real. So it's essentially the concept that anyone from any walk of life can become a minstrel. Or in this sense, they talk about being a minstrel, capital M, as a very specific job within Fraggle Rock. Mm-hmm. But obviously this is a larger metaphor for being any sort of artist. I mean, especially a musician, but really any sort of artist.
Mm-hmm.
And Murray's verse is all about oh, you think this gig is cool? Think again. This is no picnic. And Brool has this fascinating line. Every time I turn around, all I heard is battle sounds. Till the minstrel way was found. Music makes us one. So canonically, we think Brool may have been a veteran at some point?
Possibly. Or just a very combative human being.
Mm-hmm.
Or whatever Brool is.
We don't really know if they have military or wars.
That's true. Yeah, it could be almost more in the sense of just like I was a very like aggressive person and then or creature, and then music really helped level me out and mellowed me out a bit and helped me find my purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then Balsam, the character named for Philip Balsam, actually one of the two characters named for Philip Balsam, says, "If I got some gum to chew, I can't count from 1 to 2, but music's number 1." Like, is that about...
Can't chew gum and count at the same time.
Yeah, is that like an executive function thing of like...
I mean, I assume it's a reference to you can't chew gum and walk at the same time.
But music's number 1.
Yeah.
So...
You don't need to count to 2 because music's number 1.
You just count to 1 and then you're done?
Exactly. 1, music, over.
Excellent, okay. Brio, his verse is, "Some beginners can achieve, some beginners come to grieve. I'm beginning to believe music makes us real."
That's such a good line.
Because Brio was the one that later, along with Murray, has some kind guidance to give to Mokey. But at this point, just kind of like a warning of like, hey, you're not saying you're a beginner, but definitely implying like, yeah, some beginners can do this and some of them can't hack it.
Oh, that's not my read on that line at all. My read is, what's the first line again?
Some beginners can achieve.
Yeah, some beginners can achieve, but some people come to this for like achievement, and some people come to this because they need it. Because they're here because they need to process a feeling.
They come in order to grieve.
Yeah.
Not like they come to grief.
Yeah.
But they come in order to grieve. Oh, that makes a lot of sense. Nice. Okay.
Yeah. My favorite thing about this is just that all the puppets are dancing around them in a circle, which means that under the stage, there's just a bunch of little puppeteers walking around in circles, and I think that's cute.
Oh, yes.
And so Mokey's all excited because she wants to be a minstrel, and again, doesn't really understand exactly what that is, but wants to be it. And she's telling everybody, "Oh, I heard the ping." And Boober, in his wonder, says, "I heard a squud once, but it turned out I just stepped in a puddle."
So good. The squad I heard was wet socks.
Yep.
Yeah, Mokey just is so immediately fixated on this suddenly being like her. She acts as it like it's been her dream all along, but like I think it's Red who points out like you didn't think this yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And they're all trying to talk reason to her, like, you'd have to walk for forever. We don't know when we'd see you. You'd leave us. And she just does not hear any of it. She's so like just fully in it and only like thinking about like, this is what I'm doing. This is my purpose. I'm out of here already, you know.
She's on the hype train.
Mm-hmm.
Also, who knew she had this many clothes other than the one robe she wears?
I know. We don't see a lot of costume change occasionally, but not a lot of costume changes in Fraggle Rock. So it was interesting that she was just going through all of these things being like, what would a minstrel wear?
Yeah.
I mean, and that's also a really interesting one because she's focusing on presenting the aesthetic of an artist instead of figuring out why she's making the art she's making.
Mm-hmm. Which, side note, one of the changes that they made in between seasons 1 and 2 is that Mokey's puppeteer, Kathy Mullen, was struggling with keeping her head out of frame because she's taller.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously Mokey's a lot taller, so you got to have your arm up higher for that. And they modified Mokey's robe so that Kathy Mullen could just dip her head like under Mokey's robe to hide her head in a bunch of these shots.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Yeah.
I also really liked this side of Red, where we see her actually trying to be supportive, and she's not hiding the fact that she's sad that her best friend is potentially leaving for who knows how long. But, you know, I feel like in the past we've seen Red like butt heads more with not opposition, but like something coming up that she doesn't want to have happen.
Mm-hmm.
But in this, like, she's trying to be like a good friend, and she's like, well, I don't know if this is the right move, but I'm going to support you and I'm going to miss you. And it's, you know, it's sweet. It's a good side of Red that I enjoyed seeing.
The line specifically is, "Well, I'm not glad, but I'll work on it for you."
Which is such a real feeling.
It's so real. I'm trying to remember if I've ever seen that in any show. Not just children's media, but like the feeling of like, yeah, you're doing this thing and I'm not happy about it, but I care about you, and so I'm going to try to be happy about it for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Also, as Mokey's leaving, Boober is full on clinging to her back, and that was really sweet.
Mm-hmm.
It's so sweet and so sad.
Wembley sings her like a little goodbye song.
Yeah.
Gobo gives her Uncle Matt's postcard to like cheer her up if she misses them, which then I thought surely like Mokey is going to look at that postcard later in this episode, and she never does.
Well, of course not. She doesn't want to listen.
I know. I just expected that to be the Matt postcard for the episode. I thought
me too. Like she would like find inspiration in it, but
I thought they were seeding it, but nope. Just no Matt this one.
Yeah. If anyone knows why, there's nothing on Muppet Wiki about the lack of a postcard scene.
Yeah, anyone who might have that knowledge, hit us up.
Yeah.
Our email is nonexistant@goof.org. So they actually start moving and leaving and wandering and exploring things, and Cantus is being Cantus, and he's like, no, you gotta listen. And I don't remember which one it is who says this, but they
Murray.
say, all he ever says is listen. Problem is, every time he says it, it means something different.
Mm-hmm.
And like, Zen Master over here.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think that that's a really good way to break it down, because there are people who show up to open mics to listen and be listened to. And then there are people who show up to open mics only to be listened to.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you can tell the difference.
Yeah. I say that all the time at the poetry show that I run. I feel like I've mentioned, like, before, that I've seen the act of people showing up, they do whatever they're going to do on the mic, and then they'll leave, which, you know, sometimes you're short on time, something comes up, and you have to leave early. But I've seen that move enough times where I'm like, okay, so you were here to, you know, people who are like, okay, I want people to hear what I'm going to say, but I don't need to stay around and listen to what other people are going to say. And that's like, I don't know, that always irks me a little bit.
Drives me up a wall.
Mm-hmm.
And we get this wonderful little perfect encapsulated moment of the type of listening that Mokey is not doing.
Mm-hmm.
She says, for instance, if I sing a nice little song to these doozers over there, they can listen.
Yep.
And she starts singing the same song that she was singing at the beginning of the episode. And the two doozers, in monotone synchronicity, are like, unsympathetic vibrations in Fraggle frequency. The third one is like, relocate immediately. Does this mean that A, doozers can sense vibrations and frequencies so strongly that it occasionally makes them speak their discomfort in unison? Or is it like a bit that these two are doing to the point where they can just say their in-jokes in unison?
Why can't it be both?
Mm-hmm.
Either way, I'm in. I'm here for it.
Honestly, for me, this is the autistic brain cells in my brain as soon as the neurotypicals roll up. It's like, nope, we're gonna go.
Unsympathetic vibrations. No thanks.
And then Cantus starts making music, and he makes music similar to the music that we heard last time he played doozer songs, and then they stop and they're like, frequencies detected as music. Stay, and they start doing the little dances.
This is very, very good.
Very good. They're walking and they stop because the cave is making dripping noises.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, no, we need to listen to the drip. We need to listen to the music of this cave. And that's the kind of lo-fi I want to make. That is 100% the kind of lo-fi that I want. I have built like cityscapes to try to keep them in rhythm. I have a failed project that I haven't succeeded yet that is just the drone of a microwave going that I'm trying to harmonize over. Like, they're full on is music everywhere, and the music I make is music that I want to be able to demonstrate. I have a whole song where I remixed the tide into a beat.
What?
That was on Spotify. I'll plug it at the end.
Oh, heck yes. Well, it's not like you go about saying in each of the tracks, I follow you on Spotify. Like, this song, here's how I made it.
Fair. That is fair. I didn't know you followed. That's so cool.
Well, of course. You plug a thing, I'm gonna follow you.
You're very kind.
I'm your friend, dingus.
Yeah, friends are kind. Tell that to 13-year-old me who thought friends were for yelling and throwing things.
Oh.
Aw, see, I was trying for... yeah, okay. Anyways, so they start listening to the drips in these caves. And it's really pretty.
It's really pretty.
I have several really good drip samples that I love that are just sort of the like, point. The like, there's like a whole arc to it. Oh, I have this one sample that's like water being dropped onto like curling metal, It's the... It's... I'm not going to do it justice, but it sounds really good.
So yeah, Cantus says that tonight you'll have your first real test, which comes as a surprise to Mokey.
Mm-hmm.
He says, if you're truly determined to be a minstrel, you will pass. And she says, oh gee, what happens if I fail? He just points at her, and he waits a beat, and he says, nothing. And he walks
I
off.
love that so much. Because, yeah,
very good.
The world doesn't explode if you fail.
Mm-hmm.
But also, you could tell that she kind of wanted there to be something, because then stakes. Because then it would feel important.
Yep.
Instead of just, I have to sit in it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So he goes to wake her up to take her to the test, and I just want to point out, the minstrels are all snoring, and they're snoring in harmony.
Yes! I never noticed that before. On this watching, I caught it. I was like, oh my god, the minstrels are snoring.
I had to back it up to be like, am I crazy? Am I crazy right now? No, I'm not. This is awesome.
Yeah.
And he takes her to the cave, and he's like, you gotta hear the music of this cave.
Well, so,
go ahead.
Hold on. So there's, at the end of that night, they go to this lovely little campfire, and then we get a cutaway scene. It goes from one campfire to another.
Mm-hmm.
It goes from the minstrel's campfire to the little fire in Wembley and Gobo's room.
Mm-hmm.
And now their room is so dark, and Red is holding a book in her lap, and she's reading a story, and she warns them, here comes the sad part.
Mm-hmm.
And I appreciate that so much. And she's telling this story about this mysterious stranger who, waves goodbye, and she was gone and never to be seen again, and they all start crying, because obviously they're all thinking about Mokey, and
yep.
they're just hanging out together. Boober is lying with... I can't tell if he's lying with his head in Gobo's lap or just next to Gobo's lap, but either way, I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I read it as with his head in Gobo's lap.
Yeah. And there's just this moment for Red, continuing on this. She's struggling to be happy for Mokey, and she says, I can't. I'm sorry. I've tried, but I am not glad. I miss her. And it's the exact same heartbreaking tone when she said, I can't, when she was trying to go into outer space. Ugh.
Yeah, no. That's
Karen Prell,
right?
Man.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Karen Prell with the, tonal callback and tonal consistency, doing a fantastic job.
Yeah.
Speaking of Red and Mokey's friendship, there's this great bit when Mokey's trying to hear the music of the caves where she's feeling really frustrated, and then she says, well, Red wouldn't quit, so I'm not gonna quit.
Yeah. That was really sweet.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Cantus brings her into this empty cave that, oh man, we've talked about how the sound design is so good, but this cave sounds so empty without being echoey, and somehow it sounds dark. We're still seeing the settings of the characters, but it just feels so cold and alone and eerie and exactly like it should.
Yeah. Sound design is absolutely amazing. And I thought that she was gonna, because she has this line of, if only the wind would stop blowing, I could hear the song. And I thought that she was going to be like, the wind is the song. But she finds these colorful magic stalagmites that make music.
Well, So first, she's got this moment where, he's like, okay, your first test as a minstrel is to listen to this cave until you learn its song.
Mm-hmm.
And she's trying to talk her way out of it. She says, aren't I a minstrel already? I mean, couldn't we just skip all this? And at first I was like, whoa, is Mokey like a rich kid trying to get into Harvard with average grades?
I mean, kinda.
But then I was like, oh, no, she's got burnt out, gifted, and talented kid syndrome, where she's always been good at everything artsy.
Mm-hmm.
And now she is struggling and is deeply uncomfortable with that struggle. She wants to skip past the hard work and the self-doubt and the frustration to get to the part where you're now suddenly once and forevermore an artist and everything was beautiful and nothing hurt.
Yeah, trying is hard when you haven't learned how to try.
Yes.
That's a really good point, because she is the artsy one of her friend group, and they look to her, whether or not they're being mean about it, she's the poet, she's the art, she creates art. And I don't think that she's ever really been questioned by them, with maybe the exception of whether or not they like it or not, whether or not she's an artist. And suddenly,
right.
Yeah, she is being asked to prove herself as an artist and also put in like the work that she hasn't had to put in before for this other thing that she's, going even above and beyond her just making up songs to herself. And she was not expecting that when she thought she was taking on this role.
Yeah. It's a surprisingly complex emotional beat that's being hit with a really beautiful amount of subtlety.
Yeah.
Is it stalagmite or stalactite? Which one is...
C for ceiling, G for ground.
Yep. Stalactite, C for ceiling, and it has to cling tight to the ceiling. Stalag, G for ground, stalagmite.
Yeah, why do they glow?
Because it's Fraggle Rock and everything's mildly magic.
That's fair. I agree with Adam. Like, she had the line of like, if only this wind would stop blowing. And in my notes I wrote, Mokey, you dummy, the wind is the song. But then that doesn't seem to be the direction that this is going in.
Yeah, that was not... I would have liked to have heard a whole song built around the wind, and then eventually have her sing in it and add her song, and you could have layered the song she was singing over the natural rhythms of the wind, and instead they didn't.
Yeah. She's not there yet. She's not ready. She's not a minstrel. If she'd done that, she would have been like, oh, I get it now. This is what it takes to be a minstrel. And she still might have chosen to go back home. But here she genuinely doesn't get it.
Yeah.
But then why give her the weird glowy stalactites?
Well, the tools are there. She has the tools that she needs. She doesn't understand how to use them.
Fair.
Yeah.
There's this great line where she's like, oh, this could take forever. And then she stops and goes, I don't think I have that kind of time. And it reminded me of that wonderful Maria Bamford joke where she's talking with a cult leader. And she said I was afraid of success, which may in fact be true. Because I get the feeling that fulfilling my potential would really cut into my sitting around time. And yeah, it does. But also the sitting around time is part of it. You can incorporate...
Sitting around's important.
Yeah.
Rest is important.
But yeah, these stalactites I think are... I don't think it's like a one-to-one metaphor of anything. I think it's an important step that she realized that there was something within the cave that she could see the tools. It's like being given a toolbox and you don't know what any of them are for. You're like, well, clearly this does something, and I can play around with it and try and take it apart and try and understand it, but that's not going to teach me how to use it.
Yeah. I don't remember if he full out says it or just says it in his Cantus way, but he does tell her early on, basically that she is at the beginning, she's at the beginning of her journey. If this was something that she actually wanted to strive to make part of herself, she has a long way to go, but she does have those skills and, as you said, those tools to see the scope of what the minstrels are doing when they are finding the songs in these spaces. She can muddle her way a little bit through it. She's almost there, but she just quite isn't. She even tells him that she didn't hear the song when he comes back after she's played a song.
Yeah.
Because she didn't, and she admits also, I didn't know about that part, and that part being all of the work that was going to have to go into doing this job. Because ultimately, the minstrels, that's their job. It's their lifestyle and the way that they live. But they are providing a service for the communities in Fraggle Rock and around the rock of just, providing music and finding the songs for everything.
Well, and I think that's the thing is there's effort to it. There's a consistent commitment to listen and practice and approach. And I think one of the things that is a little bit frustrating about the way they're expressing is there's a lot of vibes-based stuff in the minstrels, and I really like the mindset it's based on, but also so much of art is just practicing and getting to better understand the theory of things, and that's the good stuff. That's the good stuff. I remember the first time I learned a Mr. Rogers song on the piano, and just having my mind blown at the way this dude structures chords and uses the structures of chords to tell you that he loves you. You can't get that on just vibes.
Oh, I love when he comes back to her Mokey, you did it. And she's like, what? I didn't do anything. She says, I'm not a minstrel. I'm a failure. He just kind of gently touches her arm and says, Mokey, you're not a minstrel, but you're not a failure either. You've begun.
Yeah.
You've begun all this. He gestures around him. And I was like, well, first I wrote in my notes, thank you, Cantus, I'm trying. And then I was like, Yet no one ever talks about this stage of being an artist, where you're like, I know there's some work here that I'm supposed to do. I've heard the ping, and I guess these are the tools that I've got, and I don't know how to use them yet. And yes, listen to your mentors. And man, beginning is hard. Mm-hmm. Beginning is really hard.
Oh, yeah. When I moved back to Portland and I started actively going to poetry open mics and poetry slams, like I'd been writing poetry for a while, but there wasn't a scene for it when I was in college. And so I kind of was just doing it for me. And occasionally, like if something popped up, I would go share something, but no one else was writing poetry. So I was just kind of like the person that would occasionally come out and do a spoken word poem, which looking back, they weren't good poems, but no one like ever said anything to me about them because I had no comparison. And then coming back to Portland and suddenly like not winning a poetry slam, like for months and months, I was like, oh, I'm not as good as I thought I was when I was in college when no one else was around me. But also like I can see myself growing and like I really want to like get there. I want to win a slam. I want to get to the point where I can do all of these things that I see these other folks doing. And I guess unlike Mokey, I did the work for the last decade to get there. But it's not easy and it's tricky, you know, when you first start out doing whatever arts or creative outlet that you know you want to invest time in, you want to kind of get to the point where you're like, I'm good at it. People recognize me for it. And that's not typically how it goes. You need to sit in like the being like bad or mediocre and like, I don't know, finding your way through it. And I don't know, that makes it's cheesy as it is, it makes it all the sweeter when you finally find your voice and find your rhythm in it and get to the point where you have, I don't know, you have your own stake and claim to what you're doing and what you're creating.
Well, and also, like, if you're willing to do something when you're not good at it, then you're doing it because you love it, not because you're getting adoration.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that means that by the time you get to the point where you are getting adoration, you're getting adoration for doing something you love, not getting adoration for doing something for the adoration.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've seen a lot of people, I have seen like the meme pop up of just, maybe not a meme, it's like a Tumblr post of how we should normalize the idea of just doing art and not necessarily like being absolutely amazing. If it makes you happy, if it brings you joy, great. Mm-hmm. That's the bare, not even the bare minimum. That should be why you're doing art in the first place. And obviously like capitalism messes with that so much when you do start producing things at that level. But you know, it's super solid and wonderful to just, I don't know, throw yourself into art and not think about like the final outcome and like put that weight on it, I suppose.
It's an exploration and a practice instead of a destination.
Yeah.
Oh, I quoted this in an interview I made a while ago by the cryptonaturalist. I don't have the exact quote in front of me, but it's something like, once you realize that life always ends with unfinished goals, the question then becomes, what do you want to pursue, completely divorced from the idea of catching it?
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
Right? Like, it was one of those ones that just, like, clung to me the second I read it and refused to let go of my brain. And, yeah, in the moments when I can recognize that I'm in that headspace, that I am just basking in the joy of doing the work regardless of the outcome, that's the sweet spot. And Adam, I would love to hear your thoughts on this song.
I didn't write down anything for it.
Oh no!
It just didn't stick in my brain.
That's fair. I'll be honest, this is maybe the one and only time that I like the cover better on the Do It On Our Own album.
Yeah. Because
they twist up the arrangement and do different stuff with it, and it's just so incredibly beautiful. I should credit the artist, but I forgot to find their name.
The artist is insert artist here, Future Beth.
Yeah, thank you.
Hello, Future Beth here. The artist's name is Sinfang, S-I-N space F-A-N-G. According to Wikipedia, Sinfang is the stage name of Sindri Mar Sigfusson, an Icelandic musician and member of the band Sea Bear.
And we're really grateful for artist pronouns contribution to album name.
This is another song that was in this latest season 2 of Back to the Rock, mm-hmm. And it was obviously they kept closer to the original arrangement, but it took on whole new levels of meaning. And this is one that I put it in my Muppet songs to sing along to playlist because I just love it so much. And it's kind of a similar vibe to that very upbeat song of Boopers in You Can't Do That Without a Hat. You don't know what you've lost until it's found.
Mm-hmm.
But this one is keep your heart and it's bound. Steep your heart in the deep of the earth again. Lose your heart and it's found. And just the line like, now I wait till my heart starts to beat again, deep in the heart of the cave, speaks to me of that moment of like, I'm in the hard part. I'm struggling as an artist and I don't know where to go from here. And that's when you've got to stop and wait and let it be hard and sit in that state of unknowing and mystery and frustration.
I mean, and that's the thing is, and the thing you reminding me of the lyrics did jog loose a memory of an analysis. The idea, keep your heart and it's bound, lose your heart and it's found. Like, it is about letting go.
Mm-hmm. I don't think this is a spoiler, but literally the name of the episode that it appears in season 2 of Back to the Rock is called Letting Go.
Wow. All of Back to the Rock has been spoiled for me.
No, I'm so sorry.
You're all good. Yeah. And I mean, that's what it is. You need to be able to let go of the idea that you have control over anything.
Yep.
Because it's not about control, it's about exploration and expression.
Yeah. And when Cantus comes back and says all it takes is dedication, determination, and inspiration.
Mm-hmm.
And at first glance, I was like, wait a minute, dedication and determination, isn't that like kind of similar? And then I was like, no, like to me, I think of dedication as like the boring everyday tasks, like the showing up over and over again, sitting down and practicing over and over again. And then determination makes me think of like the low points, the slogging through, crawling up out of it, like screaming into New York, the frog is Stan! Which, if we haven't watched Muppets Take Manhattan together, we need to do that.
We should.
Yep.
Is that the one with the diamond?
No,
that's the Great Muppet Caper.
There we go. Okay, then I don't know if I've seen that and we should watch it.
Yes, absolutely. It's all about being a young, starving artist, and it's fantastic.
Glorious.
And then inspiration, like that's the drawing connections, the what ifs, the wonderings, the maybes, and it's playtime in the cosmic sandbox.
I also like that inspiration is last, because like ideas are easy.
Yeah.
The actual making of the idea is hard.
That's the real hard part.
My favorite joke I've heard in comparison to that is, look, conceiving a baby is very easy. Actually giving birth to it and raising it, that's the hard part.
Yeah. And that's exactly when Murray steps in. He says, also known as hard work. Mm-hmm. And Cantus just goes, yes, wonderful, isn't it? Like, oh, buddy. Oh, Cantus.
Part of why these AI prompter tech dudes drive me up a wall.
Say more.
Oh, just...
I don't get the connection.
Because again, they're just like, okay, here's the inspiration, here's the product. But the thing is, like, if you're making a thing and you start with that inspiration, the beauty of what actually exists is when you start making it and start filling in all those little cracks. You know, you are in the place where you're, like, if you're writing a song and you have a cool idea for a chorus, your verses are how you're going to set that up. And how you set up your chorus changes how the chorus hits. And then what chord progressions are you going to use? Are you going to use the same chord progression? Like, you have so many different opportunities to layer meaning into a thing under every aspect of its creation. And if all you want to do is type in this, and then have it spit out a thing until it's something you like, you're missing out on all of those opportunities to express and add layers. I have a singer-songwriter album that I'm in the process of mixing and mastering. I will plug it here when it's out, don't you worry. But there was a song that I had that I originally imagined as this kind of like, you know, kind of folksy guitar, similar, like a sad version of an old like Union hymn kind of vibe. And then my producer is also a drummer, was like, yo, can we throw some drums on this? And I was like, yeah, we could try it out. And it changes the entire vibe in a way that is so much better that I would never have been able to do without collaborating with him. And it's a different song now in an amazing way.
That's awesome.
And that wouldn't have happened if we'd skipped the journey.
Yeah. Cantus has, of course, a million great lines. Being a minstrel is enough hard work for your whole life. And that's the part that makes Mokey go like, oh, well, I don't know about that part. Like, yeah, I could be a minstrel if I left home and Fraggle Rock and all my friends. And she's like, nah, I can't do it. Like, and he says, oh, but you can. And maybe someday you will. Like, yeah, she could become a minstrel someday, but that's not where she's at right now.
And that's okay.
It's not where her skill level's at, and it's not where her priorities are at. And that's totally fine.
There's also a really sweet reunion with her and Red. And, like, genuine moment of Red being vulnerable. She's like, and I don't remember the lines being leading up to it, but she's like, yo, please hug me.
Yes.
And it was really sweet. And then we cut back to Doc, and he has done all of this research on a saxophone and then tries to actually play it and gets 2 toots and is like, maybe I can just appreciate that this is actually very hard to do while I listen to it. Which, I don't know about y'all, but I really like the Doc and Sprocket things with 2 scenes instead of 3. I think that works really well.
Yeah. Yeah, unless the middle scene is, like, adding a necessary dimension, it works well with 2.
Which I feel like it sometimes is, but isn't always.
Yeah.
I mean, I really appreciated the ending note with Doc and Sprocket, because, yeah, he spends all this time learning about it, tries it for a second, and then goes, no, this is actually not for me. But then they put on the record, and they're like, we can just listen and enjoy it, which I think is a really important facet of enjoying art, where, you know, we put a lot of worth on, like, oh, if you like this art, you could do it. You could write this song. You could write this poem. But sometimes people just want to listen to music and they're like, no, I just enjoy it. I guess the thing that comes to mind for me is I have a friend who's like PAs for things in Hollywood, and he saw me share something I wrote for Tough Pigs once, and he was like, hey, do you want me to put you in touch with someone and you could do some like puppetry for like a movie or something? And I didn't, we did a lot of back and forth, and I had to be like, I'm a puppet person, but I'm not a puppet person. Like, I love the Muppets and Fraggles.
You're not a puppeteer.
Yes, that is the more straightforward way to put it. Like, I love all of this. I don't have the tools at all to be a puppeteer. I don't have the coordination. People who work for the Muppets have been doing it for so long.
Yep.
And not to say that, like, if I wanted to, I could just begin and get there eventually, but I don't have that drive. I love intaking this kind of stuff and analyzing it and enjoying it. But, you know, I can understand all of its facets, but I don't need to do it. Other people are going to do it, and they're going to do it great. And that's great for me, because then I can watch them do it.
Yep.
So I liked that ending with Doc and Sprocket putting on the record, and they're like, we'll just listen to this awesome saxophone instead.
Yeah.
That's another facet of the burnt out, gifted, and talented student syndrome, that, like, at some point you're going to get struck with, like, oh no, I wasted all my potential, because everyone's constantly telling you, you could do anything. Mm-hmm. You're good at so many things. And, like, yeah, you could be good at anything if you put in the work to do it. And we don't get, like you were saying, we don't get taught how to do that work, how to try and how to fail and how to try again and fail again and keep doing it. And yeah, there are a lot of things that I could be good at if I cared to put my time and attention and energy and money into it. But there aren't enough hours in the day to do all of the things that interest me. At some point, I've just got to be like, I'm going to sit back and consume the art made by other people. Look how good they are at it. I'm not going to try to do that thing.
Definitely.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Beth, you want to tell us about the international versions?
Let's see. In the German version, in the opening sequence, when Sprocket takes the saxophone from Doc, his hind legs pop into frame when he falls over. He then gets his nose stuck in the horn part, which the American Sprocket does too, or I guess Canadian Sprocket. And when Doc begins to take the instrument apart, he sticks the top part of it into Sprocket's mouth. Okay. In the UK version, the captain has received a present from his niece, young Jeannie, a box of belongings of his great-uncle Hamish. They include a kilt and sporan and bagpipes. Sprocket hides in his basket when the captain starts to play the bagpipes. Later, when the captain is changing into his late uncle's clothing, Sprocket tries to attack the bagpipes.
Nah.
The captain then goes outside to play the pipes and simultaneously plays a record of pipe music inside the lighthouse.
Bold move. Ready, shall we talk about how to make the world a little Fragglier? Or not. We don't have to.
No, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, no, I lost it.
I got you. I can go first.
Okay.
Go for it.
When you're done listening to this podcast, after you listen to the outro and after you listen to whatever weird bit that Beth sticks at the end, just take your earbuds out and just listen wherever you are, and a rhythm will emerge eventually. Listen to all the different sounds you can hear. There'll be a rhythm.
It's important to be supportive of your friends for the journey that they're on, but it's also okay to acknowledge if maybe you don't feel all of the best feelings about it. You can do both.
Sometimes you just gotta wait till your heart starts to beat again deep in the heart of the cave.
You don't want to tell people where they can find you?
You can find me occasionally writing stuff for Tough Pigs and on social media at BethOnACook.
And you can find me on social media at GeekGirlGrownUp, JuliaGaskill.com for poetry, and also occasionally writing for Tough Pigs.
You can find me on Spotify, Badger Blossom, all one word. I've only got the one EP right now called Moments and Memories. But if you want to listen to the song where I remix The Tide, that one's called Va.
Also lowercase. I found someone else by searching for Badger Blossom that wasn't lowercase.
Ooh.
I was like, how dare there be more than one?
Is there more than one?
I think so.
Fight them.
I gotta go fight him, I guess.
There
All
can
right.
only be one.
All right, that is it for this one. Reminder to check out toughpigs.com. Give us a good review on your podcatcher of choice, and we will see you next time.
Don't forget to dance your cares away.
Down at Fraggle Talk.
Fraggle Talk Classic is brought to you by toughpigs.com. Fraggle Talk art by Dave Hulteen Jr. The Fraggle Rock mark and logo, characters, and elements are trademarks of the Jim Henson Company. All rights reserved. The Fraggle Rock theme song, written by Philip Balsam and Dennis Lee, is used with permission. Special thanks to the Jim Henson Company and the entire Fraggle Rock family. For more from Tough Pigs, please find us at Tough Pigs on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, TeePublic, and Patreon. Fraggle Talk Classic is produced and edited by me, Beth Cook. Thank you to Joe Hennis, the Tough Pigs Muppet Fan Podcast executive producer. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time, down at Fraggle Talk.
Recording. You think we could save time instead of having to do it again and just chord the first time?
And just what the first time?
Just chord.
Instead of record.
Oh, got it. Okay. We could try that. That's why I want to try fried beans, because maybe they're just as good and you don't have to fry them again after all.
And we're wasting time.
Oh, R.I.P. Mitch. Okay.